Healing after the loss of a loved one seems like a really long and painful journey to even get to a place where we feel even a little bit better. And sometimes you may say to yourself, why bother? So let's walk together and I'll share when the healing starts and how you can get going on this journey right now so that you can get out of this abyss of grief that you're in. Hi friend, welcome back to Grief Questions Answered. I'm Eric and it's my goal with these videos to share everything I've learned about how to survive, find support in the loneliness of grief, and how to intentionally get back up and live beyond the loss of a loved one. If this grief tip doesn't help you today, I am confident it can and will help you at some point in the future, so be sure to save this video to watch later on. Now, today's question comes from Bobbie, who asked me, it's been 8 months. When do I start healing? So, Bobbie, this is a really good question, and this journey for you is very fresh, but I'm going to keep this video very short today, and here's why. As someone who has experienced deep loss like you, it can feel like healing doesn't even happen, even as time goes by. In the midst of our loss, it's so hard to think clearly enough through the brain fog and the tears. But please know that the human spirit is very strong and very powerful. And so here's what I know. Your healing starts right away. And I can say, though, that every single minute, an hour, and day that you live beyond the loss of your loved one, you actually are healing. And I want to use the analogy of what happens when we're injured physically. When an injury occurs, the body begins to heal right away. It's just programmed to do that. And the same with our grief, which is also an injury. It's not a disorder and it's not permanent. And so we must treat our emotional wounds with the same grace as we would a physical injury, in that we require a different way to think about this. Now, some of our healing happens just by making it day to day. Other times we heal when we connect and share our grief with trusted others. And we can also heal when we share stories of our loved one. And time does contribute to our healing as well, but remember that time is not the driver of our healing. It's a companion. And when we take actions to heal, time helps us to get there a little bit faster, okay? But here's the thing. It happens, and I'm talking about healing, it happens in small increments to the point where it doesn't feel like we get any better. It's like trying to watch grass grow, right? We can't see the changes when we do watch it, but day after day, we can notice smaller changes and growth. So let's talk about ways in which you can help yourself when it feels like you're not healing at all. First thing to do is to connect with family and friends that you trust. And I'm talking about the ones you know have your back. Next, you can join an online grief support group. Why? Because these groups connect you with people who get exactly what you're going through without the pressure of family and friends who may not fully understand what you're dealing with. And there is a sense of companionship and community in these groups that we can all benefit from. Another way is to find local meetup groups in your community. Sometimes your local rec center or church may have groups that meet in person and regularly. So check your town or your city's website to find those groups. And finally, connect with someone one-on-one who can customize your journey through and out of grief. And here's what I mean by that. And this is something that I do as a coach, okay? When somebody coaches with me, I meet you where you are in your journey, and then I walk with you through your grief so that you can move forward and get to your better days where you're truly living beyond the loss and honoring both your loved one and yourself at the same time. And by the way, it's okay to do both. Remember, you always have options. You're not alone here. So as always, I hope this helps. Do you have a question about grief that I can answer for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button down below, as this is the best way to get notified of new videos just like this and to show support for the channel. So let's continue to walk together, and I'll see you in next week's video.